Alrighty, what is up, y'all? Motorcycle therapy time because, I need to talk about something. And I actually have a topic. Today's subject matter is the old phrase, blood is thicker than water. You don't know the old adage, it's been around forever. What it basically means is the familial bonds, the genetic ties that bond us with our family, the DNA. It's supposed to be more important than any other relationship that you can develop, friendship, marriage, work, all of that stuff. Basically, family is the most important thing. And for those that use that phrase, and for that phrase specifically, if it could be personified, if the words blood is thicker than water could be shaped into lips, those lips could kiss my ass. Because I don't believe it. Fuck that phrase, right? Again, motorcycle therapy, this is me venting about stuff. My opinion, not a psychologist, sociologist, psychiatrist, none of that shit. This is dude on a motorcycle talking because, this is what my channel's for. Anyway, this topic came up because my mom passed away, right? Literally the last video I made, I think. And over the last few months, I have been meeting people. We've been having lots of discussions, family members that come out of the woodwork, things that happen within the family that, I might have been familiar with, the events, all this stuff. You learn stuff when people die. And during my educational venture, I met my stepdad's daughter. I'm not calling her my stepsister because that's just how my brain works, right? She didn't grow up with me. My stepdad's daughter, just like my dad when he remarried. That ain't my stepmom. She didn't raise me. She wasn't part of my rearing, my childhood. I have a stepmom, which not related to me at all. No blood ties whatsoever. My three stepbrothers, my one that passed, of course. And my stepmom, I love my stepmom. She helped raise me, part of my life, all through high school, middle school, all that shit. Love her. My dad's wife is my dad's wife. You ain't my stepmom. Anyway, this conversation came through one of the most innocent back and forths ever, right? Like, again, I have no qualms, no beef with my stepdad's daughter, and the way that I talk in my brain, I'm like 3/4 Sam Jackson. So the way that I respond is no offense to her. And if I say anything in this video, it's not like, oh, you got to be. No. That's just how my brain talks. But when my mouth talks to people, I have matured, and I can filter that out. Anyway, so she was over at the house. I've met this lady 3 times, like as of the topic starting. I've seen her more since then, but since when this topic came up in my brain, I had met her 3 times. And we were talking back and forth. I fixed her computer and went to drop it off. And then we got to talking about my stepdad and, the relationships and all this other stuff. And, we were talking about how he is and he don't listen to none of us. And she was like, well, she said something that caught my ear. And as soon as she said it, I stopped listening because what she said, I just hate the phrase. And my brain was like, no, thank you. She's like, well, my dad does this. She was like, well, you ain't blood, so you don't understand. In my brain, I was like, bitch, who the fuck, what the fuck you talking about? I ain't blood. I am 43. This dude's been in my life for 40 years. That's 20 twice. I have not seen you in one family picture. You ain't came to not a single birthday party. How you gonna tell me how he is based off the simple fact that you're genetically related to him? And don't get me wrong, I allow people to have their opinions. I don't ever want to force my opinion on nobody. And me and her have an unfortunate commonality in this event because I don't know their relationship. I don't care. It's none of my business. I don't know how he has been. I don't know how communicative they've been over the years. I know I'm 43 and I seen you thrice, lady, 3 times, 3 digits, 3 of my phalanges worth my whole life. And most of them have been since my mom passed away. The day of, I was like, I thought I met her, but I was like, I don't know. She was at the house. I didn't care to figure out our timeline of meeting each other because my mom was upstairs dead. And I was just like, well, cool. I have no relationship to you and I have no qualms about it whatsoever, but it was just the fact that she said that my brain was like, you don't know your daddy. And I can say that because I don't know my daddy. Not in that sense, right? I know my dad. I grew up with my dad, right? He was in my life. He decided once I was 29, the little, which I consider minor disagreement we had was enough for him to say, fuck you, ghost me, change his number, and I hadn't talked to him for 12 years. Up until 2024. November of 2012 was the last time I talked to my dad until the middle of 2024 because I found out he had an ailment, and then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna reach out yet again because I had been the one reaching out for my ex-wife, for my daughter, all this shit, and he just wasn't fucking with me, and I was like, okay, well, I'm done with this. I'm grown. I'm not trying. I don't force nobody to be in my life. Anyway, so I assume that they could have a potential similar relationship. Unknown, none of my business. But when she said that, I'm thinking in my brain, how you gonna tell me what he's like when this man raised me? He's been in my life for 40 years. He's the reason I joined the military, period. He's the reason I'm so smart, right? I think. Not just because of genetics, both my parents are intelligent, but he put me through things. He made me read the dictionary, made me do reports to him. I wasn't even in school. It's summertime. He made me read these short stories. You know, the way he made me approach life. I was ready for basic training before I ever got there. That shit was Saturday morning chores for me. So I'm like, my relationship with him is different than her relationship with him. And yes, she's allowed to feel whatever she can feel. Like, I'm never going to change your feelings for anybody, no matter what, right? I could address the root cause and say, hey, if your feelings are based on misinformation or misunderstanding, here's the truth. Hopefully you have a better understanding. You kill the root cause, and then later, maybe the feelings will change around the situation. But feelings are feelings. You got to feel what you got to feel, no matter what. However, if I give you new information, or the information that I present to you is not what you have experienced, that's completely awesome as well. What I don't want to participate in is if we come to an understanding, the information's changed, the facts are the facts, and then you choose to keep the feelings based off the old facts. That's like saying I have a pollen allergy. I get rid of the pollen. You have a pollen allergy. I get rid of the pollen, give you some Zyrtec, the little snippy boys. You're fine. Nothing around is annoying you, yet you choose to physically make yourself sneeze afterwards. Well, what the fuck? Like, the problem's gone. You're doing this to yourself. Not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's how I address things. Now, when she told me that, the next thing out of my next sentence out of my face was, oh, okay, well, it'd be like that. Because I had no response. I was not going to argue her down based on her impression of her father. That is her father. That's my stepdad. The reason I feel so strongly about it is because, like I said, my dad decided to pop off and leave. And over the years, I got text, I got communication from his new family, right, about how good my dad was, or he helped me do this, or he did that, or you should really talk to your dad, and good for you. I'm glad that you have that version of him, because the version I had that I thought I knew is the one that said, nothing, disappeared and decided to start off with his new family in the version that you got. So good for you that you got that version of my dad, right? If blood was thicker than water, if that phrase, if that meaning, if that term, if that sensation, that thought process was so fucking strong, he should have started steaming up like vampires with garlic. The farther he got away from me, the more distance he put between himself, me, and his biological granddaughter. But that wasn't the case. He was, fine, moving on with his life. And we were fine. After the initial shock, we just said, okay, fuck it. We just gonna keep rolling because I'm here for my daughter. That's all my daughter needs is daddy, right? And mom. So that got my brain thinking about all of this stuff, which is why I'm talking about it now, because I've had some bad experiences with family. I've been abused, not abused. That's freaking sweet. I don't want to misuse that term. People who I'm related to, who have had access to me, have unfortunately taken advantage of either my goodwill, my time, my money, my patience, my skills, whatever. Not like a physical or an emotional or like a sexual abuse, because I don't want to be, skewing my story, right? However, if you abuse your access to me, that's some kind of abuse. Like, I've had cousins use me, fix my shit, bro, I'm gonna hook you up, blah, blah, blah. Never get paid. People waste your time. People break your stuff. People think you down for situations you shouldn't be down for just because you related to them. Oh, cuz I thought you was... Why would you put me in a dangerous situation because you thought I was down? Bro, I didn't get raised with you. There's some cousins I'm super close to that I grew up with. Some of them I'm closer to than my brother and sister because the age gaps, right? My brother and sister are 11 and 13 years older than me. And it's a simple age gap, but me and my cousins were closer. Those cousins I'm close to, which is, is kind of going against my point about the blood thicker than water thing, but some family fine. But people use that as a crutch because some folks will put you in a situation, cuz I thought you was down. Why did you think that I would be down for this situation that you're purposely putting me in that could be dangerous to all of us just because you're related? My mama is your mama's sister. That's it. We are genetically adjacent strangers, motherfucker. I'm not a part of this lifestyle. Don't put me in this shit just because we family. And people use that as a crutch. Family's allowed to do this. Family's allowed to do that. Oh, because they did this. Oh, it's fine. You gotta forgive them because they family. Fuck that. I have best friends that I've had since middle school, elementary school, high school, and recently in my military years, the last 20 years of my life. I've made friends and I am closer to them than people that I could share a fucking kidney with. And if one of my friends needed one, they'd probably get it because, you know, I'm generous like that. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't been asked. Don't ask me. But I'm like, that phrase has a special meaning for me, and it causes great disdain because it doesn't properly apply to everything across the board. And most things in life don't, but this is what I'm bitching about right now, so I'm going to continue to bitch about it in my form and fashion. Because I got a sore spot against people using that phrase, especially when I've experienced it and I've seen it in real life. I've seen the atrocities laid upon family members by other family members, kids, you know, getting abused by their parents, siblings abusing each other, women getting abused by their husbands, husbands getting abused by their wives, or moms, you know, abusing something like blood family, right? If that was the case, then, you know, when you see those stories on Dateline or NBC and all these, how these kids were living in squalor and all that stuff, and then the family's going out partying with friends, is the blood thicker than water? That relationship should be the most important thing in your life. Now, for me, I actually do live that with my nuclear close family. Back when I was married, wife and daughter. Most important, they need some stuff. I'm doing the stuff for them. My daughter needs me to go to gymnastics. I'm doing gymnastics stuff. Daughter dance. I'm doing that. Fuck the friends, not in a mean way. Again, Sam Jackson mouth. This is not in a malicious way. It's y'all are important to me. I love y'all. If you're if I've allowed myself to call you a friend, that means you're extremely close to me and I care about you. However, that pales in comparison to who was my wife at the time and my daughter. That's it. And wife is married in. She ain't even related to me. I swear to God she better not be, because back in the day, I mean, I got a daughter, so you know how that happened. Anyway, my daughter comes before anything and everyone, period. Unless she's completely fucking up. That's how I feel. But I have not experienced that in my life. My stepdad has put me before a lot of things. He's put my granddaughter, he's put his granddaughter, my niece, in front of a bunch of things, and that's kind of how I can relate to his daughter having the feeling that she was feeling at the time, because I can empathize and sympathize with her, right? I feel what you feel, because I felt that, right? My dad got a new family. He got a pretty little granddaughter. I wish I knew her. I can't remember her name. I wouldn't say her name anyway, but beautiful little girl. She sees him as granddad, and that's fine. I'm not going to hate on her relationship with him, because again, I have matured. But that ain't the daddy that I had. That's your granddaddy. You got a different relationship with him. And I'm sure that when she looks, my stepdad's daughter looks at our dynamic, it could stir up some feelings. Because again, I don't know how that happened. I don't know what the relationship was. I don't know why he's been in my life for 40 years and I've never met this woman. None of my business. But I do know, if I was on the outside looking in, which I am, because I was, and I did, I would feel a certain way. And I would go, hey, what the fuck? How come you ain't treat me like this? How come you didn't do this for my family? Or how come your blood granddaughter, which I look at my dad like sometimes, don't have the experiences that this adjacent family has now that you've absorbed them? And I am his only numero uno biological son. And that is his only biological granddaughter. Nobody else is related to my dad. My family tree is dwindling very quickly. I'm the last stone there's going to be. If my daughter marries off, I mean, she could have a grand, like, you know how genetics works. The baby of the daddy is the daddy's child. Like, my daughter's, I ain't gonna explain this shit to y'all. I don't have no boys. And that's it. So, I can't be like, oh yeah, my dad, no. He didn't have no more kids. We're not related to anybody. And I have had 2 bonus families, if you want to call it that. I had the one that I was raised with my 3 stepbrothers and my stepmom, and then the family that he got after they divorced, after I was already grown, he married into, and through her, he has another family, which he's adopted, for less of a better term, into his life and became a father figure, grandfather figure for them. Not hating, just factual, right? So to me, now that I've ranted so long, I'm coming up to a stop. That phrase is a crutch, right? Because people use it to justify shitty behavior. They use it to demonstrate a knowledge of things that they don't have, even when they think they do. Like, I could have said that, 14 years ago now, when I did know my dad. I knew my dad. I can say my dad performs like this. He don't like this. This is his demeanor towards this. This is his attitude towards this. He like his food this way. You know, he ain't gonna do that because he don't like that. He don't eat that. Don't touch his food. I knew my dad, or so I thought, because the person that I knew was also the same person that decided to abolish me from his life. Change his phone number and move on. I don't know. I thought I knew my dad, and I can tell you for a fact right now that I don't know my dad. I know him, right? Familiar with him, know his name, birthday, all that jazz. He's not a stranger to me, but I don't, to my core, know him. What did the psychologists say? I think people change every 10 years or something like that. I know I'm different than I was 10 years ago. I'm still my core, but my core has shifted, is aligned better, and I'm actually happy with who I am now. I wasn't before. It took me about 30 years to get there because I just thought I was weird and nobody thought like me. And now I'm like, fuck it, I'm glad nobody thinks like me, because I'm me. I don't want to think like nobody else. I want to be me, and I want to enjoy being myself. And I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable being an introvert. I'm comfortable with the fact that I don't have to stress myself out or allow other people to force their beliefs on me. And it took me a while to get over that because I felt so, I don't know what the word is right now. I can't think of it. Felt useless, kind of. Like, I felt like I was the outcast. And I felt like I needed to perform for people. Fuck them. Right? I've grown into who I am. And maybe that's what happened with my dad. I don't know. Maybe he just decided, I don't want to roll like this. I want to do better, be better, start over with a new family rather than fix the one that was broken. I don't know. I know I wouldn't do that. Me, personally. I know when I've hurt my daughter's feelings or made her feel a certain way. Years ago, I didn't really brush it off, but I never went back to follow up and make sure that she felt better. Like recently, again, I've said this in the past, I'm not sure which video, but I took the time out to bring my daughter in front of me and apologize for times that I failed to apologize before, because I didn't want her looking at me like I look at my dad. That was part of my growth. So with all of that being said, I don't know him. My dad doesn't know me. He knew me. He has the impression of me that he had back then. And he probably still thinks that way, because sometimes people can't adjust their thought process to the fact that they don't know you anymore, which is another reason it's nothing to do with family. I don't keep up with people from high school or a long time ago. I'm not who I was. You remember me a certain way. I'm not that way. And people, oh, you changed. Yes, I did. I grew. I matured. I'm different. I have a different thought process. I have a different outlook on life. I have a different everything. I have different responsibilities. And I have different wants and needs, and I don't want to be who I was before. And then, unfortunately, family or friends, some folks don't change. Some people stay immature, some people stay reckless, some people stay stupid. They're just older now. 10 years ago, you supposed to have been this. Okay, you adjust now. You still the same person from 10 years ago. No, because it's worse now. You just got 10 more years experience being a dumbass. Why are you increasing your skills at stupidity or assholery or recklessness or whatever the fuck you're doing that's not improving your life at this point where you're grown on top of grown, right? So, blood's thicker than water. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think? Am I crazy? Am I just rambling? Does anybody feel the same way that I feel? Because I just don't like the phrase, because I've experienced personally the exact opposite. My best friend from high school heard my mom and dad. He called me. He said, did you just say what you said to me? Because I was texting him, hey, my mama passed. He said, what the fuck? You don't text me that. He hopped in his car, took off work, drove South Carolina? North Carolina? One of the Carolinas, South Carolina, to see me. Say, yo, I'm on my way. That relationship, stick in the water. those type of relationships that are built on trust, built on reciprocity, built on mutual respect, boundaries as well. That's my type of relationships right there. And I do have those with some blood relatives, the ones that I trust that are close to me, that I will allow to take my time, because I've grown into a person that don't let people waste his time. And I've also got those that I just go, nah, I'm good, I ain't going, happy birthday, or see y'all next time, or no thank you, I don't fix computers no more, because y'all not gonna waste my time and not gonna abuse me. Anyway, whew, I think that was a quick little rant session. And that conversation I had with my stepdad's daughter was like 2 minutes long, and I made a 20-minute video about it. Anyway, tell me your thoughts. I'm out.